The Sarah Cannon Research Institute was interested in moving into the UK for several reasons. We are jointly owned by HCA in the United States, and HCA, of course, has a dominant position in the healthcare market, particularly the private sector in central London. Taking advantage of the intellectual prowess, the excellent scientists and researchers in central London was very attractive to us. The opportunity to have a global expansion. Much of clinical trial development now is covered both in Europe and the United States. Very similar practice patterns, similar agents being approved in both continents, and it's important to offer pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies, and other drug development agencies the opportunity to have their drugs studied simultaneously, both in Europe as well as in the United States. One opportunity that will be provided by Sarah Cannon Research Institute coming to London is for those patients who have private insurance, those that are often cared for in some of the facilities that HCA, for example, manages in central London. They'll now have access to the newest and greatest therapies. While these therapies sometimes are short of being approved and available commercially, they're available through clinical trials. We, of course, believe that participation in a clinical trial is something that every cancer patient should consider. And bringing new therapies, bringing them earlier, and bringing them to patients that might very well have the specific need for that particular agent is something that we think will be of great advantage to the oncologists and the general practitioners of London. So the opportunity to participate in a clinical trial is one that we hope patients and their general practitioners, their physicians, would be interested in considering. We believe that participation in a clinical trial should be the first consideration when fighting your cancer, not the last. Clinical trials today offer the standard of care. Patients get the standard of care that they would routinely see, and then often something a bit more. In the setting of phase 1 clinical trials where patients' tumors have failed to respond to the standard agents, we have new therapies available that might afford those patients the opportunity to have their tumors shrink, have a better quality of life, and hopefully live longer. The goal of the drug development program in the UK is to have a partnership between the program in Nashville and the program in London, headed by Dr. Arkanow, in an attempt to have patients treated both in Europe and the US with the latest and greatest cancer medicines. So we're moving into an era now where we're trying to develop the right drug for the right patient. Some people refer to that as personalized medicine, but it's clear that every patient's cancer is unique. And with the growing abundance of new targeted therapies, we have the opportunity to deliver the right drug to the right patient. And it's only through clinical trials that we can understand what is the right agent to treat a particular tumor with. So patients in the UK will now have available to them many of the newest agents that are out in clinical development, those that are being talked about in clinical trials, helping cancers that previously didn't have great standard therapies, tumors like melanoma, some of the newer agents for prostate cancer, some of the tumors that are a little rarer, tumors we refer to as neuroendocrine cancers and some types of kidney cancer. We're learning more and more about these cancers. We're learning that there are specific new agents, biologic agents, pill therapies that can affect specific mutations that those cancers have and really offer patients some dramatic benefits.